Ken, how's the mood in the camp? How's the confidence as you head into this huge test, this series decider?
Yeah, it's good. Obviously, we're hugely disappointed and frustrated with the result. Last Saturday, plenty to work on. But now we're in a good place. We trained really well this week. Plenty of intensity, and now we're in a good place. Looking forward to the series decider on Saturday evening.
Has confidence, belief taken a hit at all, given the nature of that second test defeat?
I don't think so. I think both test matches were very similar. Second half we probably got the momentum and built that pressure on South Africa, where they done that against us in the second test. So the confidence is still there. We know and trust our processes and what we're trying to achieve. And we're here for a huge third test series decider on Saturday night, like I said, and we're in a really good place. We know the challenge that's going to be coming from South Africa, because they're going to be in exactly the same position. So it all bodes well for a great finale.
You and your Welsh teammate Wyn Jones have been brought into the front row. How easy is it though to fix the set piece issues from last week? How do you prevent the Springboks getting that physical dominance?
No, we know the challenge they bring. It's something they pride themselves on, but it's something we pride ourselves on as well. The set piece was pretty good the week before. Didn't get some stuff right last weekend, so we know that there's fix-ups there. And, like myself and Wyn coming in to start to freshen things up, is going to be a huge challenge for us, but we're pretty confident in each other's abilities and the combination. Myself, Wyn and Tig scrimmaged together before, so now we're just looking forward to that challenge that South Africa are gonna bring.
And how big a challenge is it? What's it like facing the South African team in terms of physicality? You faced a similar battle in the World Cup semi-final, didn't you?
Yeah, we know exactly the challenge they bring. They do pride themselves on it. They try to impose themselves physically, like you said, but it is a massive challenge, but we knew that before coming down here, and it's something that we pride ourselves on. We took a bit of a hit with it last week, probably came second best, but I think on this tour we've been very physical ourselves, so it's going to be a phenomenal test match.
Is this the biggest game of your career?
In terms of the Lions, yes, it is. It's my first start in a test series for the Lions, which I'm hugely proud of. When it's a third test series decider against the world champions, so it's right up there as one of the biggest games, but definitely in a Lions shirt.
And finally, from me, there's been a bit of talk about the draw. Warren Gatland saying he'd like to see extra time if that were to happen. What's your take on that?
I'm not sure. We haven't spoken about a draw this week at all, so I think that's something for you lot to discuss and mull over. For us, we're concentrating on the victory, and that's all we're here to do.
4 years ago, did it leave a bit of a strange feeling, a bit of a hollow feeling when it was the series was shared?
It was strange right at the end of the game. Not everybody really knowing what was happening, but they were the rules, and and it was perhaps we would have liked a decider at some point, but we all knew it was a three test series, and the spoils were even at the end of it, and we had to be content with that.
Thank you. Good luck.
And just picking up on 4 years ago, obviously the Lions won the second test going into the third. Can you maybe compare this week and 4 years ago going into the final test in terms of similarities and differences?
Yeah, I think a lot of us spoke about momentum and winning that second test going into the third. If I remember, I think we started the third test too great out in New Zealand and built our way into the game. So I think you'd probably say the way South Africa finished the game, the momentum is with them, but we can't look back at what happened last we've got to create our own momentum from the start, and the way we've trained has been really good this week. The non-23 have been exceptional in the way they've prepared the boys who are starting, the boys coming off the bench. It's been a phenomenal squad effort. So for us, it's about starting the game the way we want to start it and try and control them early exchanges.
As you touched on earlier, your Lions career has been one of making an impact off the bench in Test matches so far. Is there a difference to what you're asked to do when you're a starter?
Yeah, it is slightly different, I suppose, in different ways. But it's still the fundamentals of the game are the same, and I think the way we're going to want to start this Test match is very similar to creating that impact and the energy around the team. So for me, it is a slightly different role, but I've been used to doing it at international level with Wales starting games. So it's one I'm looking forward to. It's about being accurate, bringing that energy early on, and making sure that our set piece is in a good place to give us the opportunity to do what we want to do.
On that, they go really hard at the opposition ball at line-out time. How difficult does that make it for a hooker?
Yeah, it is difficult. They got a lot of threats from in a defensive line-out point of view. Where first test was pretty good. Got things wrong second test, but we've got a plan going in to hopefully negate that, and it's just about being accurate and and sticking to the plan that we've got. So it is tough, but that's where you got to trust each other and trust your processes.
Last week, the Lions got into the South African red zone 11 times, but you only came away with it with 2 penalties. Is that the key to the game, maybe? Every time you get to the red zone, you've got to come away with points.
Yeah, definitely. When you're in the opposition 22, it's important to make that pressure pay and turn pressure into points. And we've been pretty good at doing that on tour generally. We didn't do as effectively last week, so it's something that we have spoken about and taking our opportunities when they're there. And I think the more pressure we put on South Africa, the more phases we go through, generally we get reward for that. So it's something we did in the first test, didn't quite do enough of in the second test, and so third test for us is definitely about building that pressure, going through phases and keeping hold of the ball.
Just finally from me, Ken, South Africa have conceded only 12 tries since the start of 2019. That's a span of 15 games. How impressive is that? And maybe how daunting is that?
Yeah, I think, it speaks volume of what they're good at, how they pressure teams with their blitz defence, and, it's everything they do is work for them, and they've won a World Cup through doing it, and, they're not the best team in the world for nothing. You've got to be strong in every area, and like you said, the defence has been pretty good. It's something that we need to look at to try and unlock in this week, scoring some more tries. But it is daunting, but it's a challenge as well that we're up for.
Thank you, Ken.
So.
Ken here, just a few in English, if that's okay. When you look back on that second test, Ken, was it just a bad second 40 in isolation? And if so, where and how do you rectify it?
Yeah, I think it probably is. We were good first test and finished strongly and started the second half. The first half of the second test pretty well, and we probably just lost the momentum battle. A couple of errors which gave South Africa the opportunity. They build their game around strong set piece. The week before, we only gave them four attacking lineouts. They had a lot more in the second test, which allowed them to get their driving game going and put us under pressure. And I think we've got the blueprint for the win. So we just got to take confidence in what we've done well on tour. We've won a test match, lost a test match, so it's all to play for in the third. And a lot of things are, easy fixes.
The Lions have been here before 8 years ago in Australia, having lost in Melbourne in the second test. There aren't many survivors, 2 of which, though, are head coach and captain in that third test in Sydney. How reassuring is that they've been in this position?
Yeah, it's great. Alan Wynne and Warren Gatland, they've been there and done it and seen it all. And, having them around the place and their experience, and it's huge, and I think it's rubbed off on everybody in the way that we've prepared, and everybody's been committed to this final week, and the training has been absolutely outstanding, and that's been led by Warren and Alan Wynne, obviously.
Just a final one, Ken, on someone you know very well, Wyn Jones. Heartache before the first test, was initially picked to come back after injury and get his chance now, and you won't be surprised to hear that there have been a fair few in the Llandudno area on the airwaves back home.
Oh no, it's great. It was obviously hugely proud of Wyn getting the call for the first test, and obviously devastation a couple of days later when he was ruled out. But I'm just glad that he's managed to get himself back to fitness and has got that starting jersey. He's been outstanding for Scarlets and Wales over the past couple of years, and it's just great to have the opportunity to play with him for the Lions. And I'm sure that Radio Cymru and Radio Wales have been absolutely inundated with Handel on the radio back at home. A very proud man at Llandudno. But no, it's great that he gets this opportunity, and I'm sure he will do everybody in Llandudno proud on the weekend.
Diolch, Ken.
Diolch yn fawr iawn.
Hi Ken, hope you're well. There's obviously been loads of talk about Razzie the last week or so, but what is Warren like in a week like this when there's loads of pressure on the team?
No, he's pretty calm. He just knows how to get the best out of the players, whether it's a small conversation here or there. Steps in when he needs to, prompts boys when he needs to, and he's just very calm and knows how to get the best out of each individual. And he's been at his best with that this week, and you can just sense the confidence and the experience he brings by the way he just enters team meetings or he talks, and it's just that huge experience that he's got is just right round the place at the moment.
Yeah, and just finally for me, you mentioned about scrummaging with Tig and that combination. What have you seen from him in terms of developing since the last tour? Haven't seen him on that tour as well, Tig in particular.
No, I think Tig's an absolute world class front row forward. Scrummaging wise, he's pretty. He knows exactly what he wants from you as a hooker and what he needs, and the work he does off the field is just unbelievable. The detail he goes into to make sure that his scrummaging is spot on and what he expects from a hooker, loose head, flanker, and that rubs off on you and leaves you in no doubt. He's the anchor of the scrum, and he leaves you in no doubt what he expects for you. And I think he's gone up a level from 4 years definitely with his experience around the place. And I think what he's added to his game especially is not just the scrummaging, it's his knowledge of his talk around the maul work and the contact area, and carrying. He's definitely an all-round player now, and not just a scrummaging threat that was seen. But he's definitely a lot more experience from 4 years ago, but he's added a lot to his game since then as well.